So thank you very much to be with the Airway News. So this year, this summit is very important because of the Russia war on Ukraine. So what are the challenges and what kind of future you see?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your program, and I think that this is a very, very important summit for a number of reasons. First of all, it's the 75th anniversary of the alliance. We're celebrating all the achievements that we have accomplished as an alliance that grew from 12 countries under imminent threat of a Soviet invasion to 32 countries that cover most of Europe that once again face a real security threat from Russia. So what happened yesterday was that the Allies made sure that the alliance was prepared to defend every inch of alliance territory and that it was modernizing to face all the challenges of the future. What's happening today are two very important events. First, we are sitting down right now with our four Indo-Pacific partners, with Japan, Korea, New Zealand, and Australia, to talk about some of the global security threats that are emerging in cyberspace, undersea, in space weapons. But we're also talking about how China and North Korea are enabling the Russian war machine, that they are enabling the Russian industrial base that is fueling this war, this unjust, unprovoked war in Ukraine. And I think that the declaration from the North Atlantic Council yesterday that called out China as an enabler in this conflict was very important for the alliance, but it should also be important on a global scale. So I hope that people recognize that. The second thing that's going to happen today is that this afternoon, all the leaders will meet with President Zelensky. The alliance, President Biden has reaffirmed that we stand 100% behind the Ukrainians in their fight to protect their own territory and secure a just peace for their citizens. We're unveiling a package of support that is critical to that effort. Some of the things that have been announced include the F-16s are on the way to Ukraine. They'll be flying in over Ukrainian skies this summer. A new package of air defense, so that what happened to the Children's Hospital in Kyiv won't happen again. 5 new interceptor batteries and lots more interceptor missiles to be able to blunt the onslaught of Russian hypersonic weapons into Ukraine. The other thing is it's setting up, for the longer term, it's setting up a special command, a NATO command that will take over the sustainment and supply and arming of the Ukrainian forces. So this will be standing up within the next 2 months in Wiesbaden, Germany, and this will bring all of the alliance efforts in together with the Ukrainian requirements to give them what they need. We're also setting up a NATO senior representative in Kyiv that will make sure that we're getting the feedback from all of the different components of the Ukrainian government so that we're answering their needs on the battlefield. And finally, there is the Allies committed to a pledge. It's $40 billion a year for the foreseeable future to make sure that Ukraine has a predictable resource stream to get what it needs for a long-term fight.
So we can see that there is too much effort to unite the world to condemn Russia. But why you are not talking to Russia? Why there is no dialogue with Russia on this conflict? Why we haven't seen any kind of negotiations with them? Okay, you are sending arms, you are sending ammunition, you are sending aid, but why are you not talking to Russia over this conflict?
The conversation on the future of peace in Ukraine needs to be between Ukraine and Russia. And we are standby to facilitate whatever conversation they need to have. But this is about Ukraine as a sovereign country negotiating for itself. We will not make decisions about Ukraine without Ukrainian voices or over Ukrainian heads.
So this is the first time China is mentioned as a threat, as you told me. So don't you think that it brings more tensions in the region?
I think it acknowledges the current situation in the region, that China has been part of the NATO conversation for a number of years, but there have been decisions that have been made in Beijing over the past year that has amplified the level and the quality of the support that the PRC is providing to Ukraine. 90% of the semiconductors in Russian weapons currently are coming from Ukraine. 70% of the larger components are coming from China. North Korea is providing missiles, artillery shells. They have upped their commitment. They have upped the level of their support for Putin, and they need to realize that that they are negatively impacting the security and the future of 500 million Europeans whose lives have been directly affected by this war every day.
So if we see South and Central Asia, we can see that Modi is in Moscow right now. He's close. India is a partner of US. So what kind of concerns you have? And Prime Minister Modi is in Moscow, signing trade agreements, boosting trade agreements. How do you see that?
I would just focus on what the alliance said yesterday on China, that China has made a decision that has changed the quality and the caliber of what the support they're providing to Ukraine. That is having a negative effect on the security of our European allies, and we anticipate that will affect their relationships and our relationship with China going forward. I would just encourage India to look at what has happened between Europe and China in the past 2 years and take different lessons from that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.